Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off. Hold on, gotta sneeze.
Achoo.
Ah, sorry. I felt it coming right when I started the intro, and I was like, this is a terrible time for that. When we last left off, sneeze. Other than that, when we last left off. The party finally regrouped with the war front of the Western Alliance, which currently, at least in terms of its active membership, consists of the Queen of Autumnfall, the Elvish Mages, the Queen of Sundragon, the Desert Barbarians, and now the Tertiary Force, King Caleb, and the Thieving Tebadrins. Grouping up with the queens and discussing the state of affairs, they report to you that the matter is unfortunately rather grim. With no reinforcements expected from Shadow Lily or Blackthorn, the Western Alliance is horribly outnumbered just fighting Barbaris, let alone the rest of the Scar Concord. And while the rest of the Concord has not shown themselves on the war front, that remains to be seen, especially as you guys have seen that Kaloum and Lucifer have been active in the surrounding desert. But with that said, there is some hope to be found. Caleb has a force of Tebadrins ready to scout out for potential entrances into the city, as well as equip the army with some extra guns. Zephyr has equipped himself with some freshly liberated magic items and potions. And for now, the party walks a very difficult political tightrope, especially as Lucian has now discovered and passed on to Caleb that Queen Sundragon is indeed the spawn of the Minlusian Khan, making her the child of the Northern Bandits, and she declares that the Northern Bandits are not to be trusted, and that Lucian has made a mistake allying the party with them twice.
But she didn't.
Whether she's correct or not remains to be seen. For now, a surprising sandstorm has kicked up and locked down the party's march. But thankfully, having reached the camp, you can at least shelter in the forest away from it for the most part. And as Caleb calls off the advance to wait until the visibility is clear and the storm dies down, that means that until the storm clears up, you all have the day to yourselves for the most part. With that said, is there anything anyone would like to do over the day as the storm laps at the lip of the camp?
I do, but feel free to come back to me because I have left.
All right. Zephyr, anything from you? All right, we'll circle back to you. What's anything from you?
I currently have 3 plasma rifles. I'm going to remove the cores from them and give them to Caleb, so he has some to hold on to for when he runs out again.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Caleb, you have 3 energy cores in case your recent acquisition runs dry, especially as these larger battles have been taking a much larger toll on your ammo.
I'll give him the entire rifle. Like, here you go, buddy. 3 new ones.
Fresh from the oven.
Caleb much appreciates that.
All right. Zephyr, I see you're unmuted. Anything from you?
I guess, I mean, I have, besides them being spacey, I don't know much about this potion, so I'm going to identify it.
Alright. Casting identify, or just try to see if you can determine it?
I will cast identify.
Okay, and just as a reminder, so I can pull up the correct one, which potion specifically was this? Like, do you remember who you got it from?
Again, I just remember it being, I think it was pink and it's like, it smelled like itching powder.
Yes, that one. Okay. Okay. In that case, let me pull that up.
Is it louder?
All right. What is anything else from you other than passing on some ammo?
Just gonna keep as much of an eye on the walls as I can, and just look for strategic ways to enter, using my combat prowess and information.
Okay.
So, the wall?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you're staying like fairly close to camp, but just seeing as well as you can.
Yeah.
Okay. As usual, just yeah, of course, note that there is a sandstorm happening, so visibility is rather limited. But let's see what you can do.
Yeah, I'm not going to go any further than I would say 50 feet from the camp.
All right. Luckily for you, in the middle of the day, you can still see fairly well. It's just visibility will fucking tank at nightfall. So roll me perception, and we'll circle back to you. Just keep your roll on at the ready. Caleb,
Okay.
anything from you? As we discussed, you call off your forces for now, but will ready the advance for once the storm clears. Is there anything else for you?
No, Caleb's just gonna wait till he can actually do what he planned to do.
Okay. In that case, we'll get through the boys and then see what Lucian's up to. Zephyr, casting Identify on the strange jug. Your eyes darken, but do not leak.
It's not like the darkness. It's more I have the goggles.
The giggles. Gotcha. Thank you. Sorry about that. Pulling the goggles low over your eyes, you take a look at the odd, itchy potion. And through some analysis, your goggles are able to identify them. This is enchanted oil of magic weapon. If you coat a weapon in this oil, it becomes enchanted to allow you to pierce through magical defenses. I will also add that any weapon you coat in this oil mechanically becomes a +1 of that weapon type.
Is it permanent or is it only temporary though?
Is it temporary? Is it oil?
Yes, it lasts this particular type of it. Let me double check here. This particular one lasts for 6
I'm
minutes.
gonna be right back.
Go ahead.
6 minutes.
Yes. So you coat a weapon in this, it becomes a +1 weapon of that type for 6 minutes. And then the oil dries out. It appears the Sun Dragon troops were carrying this in case they ran into any magical defenses.
Well, one person's gonna be struggling, you know.
Oh man, like they're just like
They really use that potion.
oh shit. Also, I'm hearing myself a little bit from your mic. Can you like turn me down very slightly?
Like, I get too close to my microphone.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, it sounds better now. But yeah, so yes, this is a magic weapon potion. You can use it to turn a weapon into a +1, pierce magical defenses.
Mm-hmm.
What's his perception?
22.
All right. Zephyr, as I'm presuming you're still camping out in your tree, you pull your goggles over your eyes and study the potion you procured. And once you discover its function, start considering what you might wish to enchant with it. Caleb happily takes the ammunition you offer but yeah, it does report that unfortunately the actual advance will need to wait for at least until tomorrow. But as Lucina tends to her errands, you hang at the edge of camp. How far from the city did you say you were willing to get, or how far from the camp, rather, did you say you were willing to get, just for my reference?
No more than 50 feet.
Okay. Oh, also, I will go ahead and shift the Roll20 map to a visual of the immediate area. So if you guys want a kind of idea of the terrain. That said, all right. You don't stray too far from camp, but do look out at the distant walls. Despite the sandstorm, again, it is the middle of the day, so visibility is not too harshly limited yet. So with that said, even as the wind and sand lap at the air and surroundings, you can see the distant walls, and watching them throughout the better part of the day, you do get an idea of exactly what the Alliance was talking about. By your estimate, even with the Tebadrins now added to the team, your army numbers a little under. I gotta do some quick back of the napkin math here, but your army is somewhere in the ballpark of about 700 troops in total. Just on the walls alone, you're able to count. Here, let me. Sorry, I was making sure my math was right. Just on the walls alone, you're able to make out a little shy of 4,000 Barbaris troops.
Wait, hold on.
1,000?
Yeah.
Seems unrealistic.
How so?
What's this can count?
I know it's odd.
Startling.
He can count money, and he can talk, and he can count military. Anything else, he's useless.
Yeah, completely gone.
I love
But yes, so let's assume for the sake of argument that there is no soldiers in the city and that this is everything they have to offer. That still outnumbers your army 100 to 1. And again, that's assuming the maximum possible count for you and the lowest possible count for them. Yeah,
Actually,
the Alliance
it would only
is
be
not...
10 to 1, not 100.
Still not in our favors.
Yeah, still not ideal. And yeah, my math isn't great either. But yes, and to put this into gameplay, like mechanical terms, by your estimate, the enemy army has about 8 units that are completely full, whereas all of the Alliance combined can field about 3 at once, and none of them are packed completely full.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a strategy game, not looking good. But you know that Caleb and the queens of the Alliance are currently speculating on different guerrilla warfare tactics to even the odds a little bit. Since you weren't here for the last session, I'll refresh you. Caleb has currently has a force prepared to get guns to supply the Tebadrins with, to give them a weapons advantage. Is planning to scout out that Knoll camp, which the queens explained that they suspect they have been hired as mercenaries by Barbaris to find something. They know that Barbaris is looking for something out in the desert. They asked you if you had found anything strange on the Knolls when you took them out, which you did not see. And Caleb is currently planning on scouting out a few possible ways into the city to cause disruptions from within. As you do know that most of Barbaris' military are conscripts, which means morale is likely incredibly low.
Okay, that gives What's a few ideas. Are there any like niches in the wall, like an alcove or something, like for drainage?
Yes, but the only way to access them would be through the irrigation system in the farmland, which Caleb and with all of you accompanying, is planning to scout out tomorrow.
Okay. I'll make sure I have my black powder on hand.
Noted. Anything else you want to check while you're scouting?
No, that's about all I can think of at the moment.
All right.
Just gonna keep an eye out throughout the day and make sure that they don't send anyone out.
Yeah, which, yeah, you do not see. It appears the siege has surprisingly been effective despite them having a 10-to-1 disadvantage, in that you do not see anyone leaving the city outside of the occasional patrol checking out the aforementioned farmland.
How often do they send out that patrol?
You see the patrol circles through the farmland every 20 minutes, like clockwork.
I will keep that noted and bring it up to everyone else's attention as a way to dwindle down the numbers every now and then.
Noted.
I think Caleb already had that plan.
Yeah, the Alliance didn't know exactly the time and route of the patrols, but yeah, did note that like the farmland is the only place the soldiers actually leave the walls for anything.
Also makes sense. It is farmland. They gotta get food somehow.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the siege does not have the numbers and power to take the farm completely by themselves. We'll see if the party can tilt things in their favor a bit. All right. In that case, with everyone covered, Lucian, what will you be getting up to today before things settle in for the night?
Okay, so first things first, I want to see if I can't find Aggie.
Okay. Roll investigation.
I have something to ask her. Okay, investigation. Yes, I have something to ask her. I hope it will not.
And gold coin, she asked her out on a date.
Ooh, okay, that would be a 18.
Okay. Luckily for you, Agnes de Beaume is not a particularly hard queen to find. You wander about a similar distance to What's-is, just like, about 10-20 minutes out, and find her in a sort of chipped off clearing of the forest, standing beneath a clearing of tall trees, all of them that same green dotted with pink blossoms, and you see that there's a much larger amount of falling petals in this clearing.
Yeah.
Before you notice that it's partially because you're only drawn to this area by the sound of Agnes giving these barbarian screams of rage as she periodically punches a tree hard enough to knock several branches and petals loose. And as you track the noise to her, you pass by several trees along the way which have deep gouges taken out of them with burns and ash in the wake.
I'll just follow the sounds, and once I find her, I'll just kind of stand to the side. I'll let her do what she needs to do, and just kind of let her come to me.
Okay. Another thing Agnes is not, along with subtle, is perceptive. You sit there for hours as she just continues to just harass the wildlife.
She's a one-trick pony. All she can do is punch things.
I mean, yeah, she literally acknowledged that she's letting Autumnfall do all the strategizing because she's not very good at it.
And that's okay. I guess I'll just sit crisscross in the grass. I'll take care of my my notes from Dr. Knight and just keep studying so I can, continue to do the work that I need to do.
Okay. Several hours pass. The only noise being the screams from Agnes as she continues to just basically peel these trees using her twin sai as essentially improvised saws, leaving trails of fire and ember in her wake. Only not starting a forest fire because she seems to at least have the self-control to keep her fire limited to her immediate surroundings.
Question: how am I doing with all the fire?
Roll a wisdom save.
Man, that's how Agnes figures out she's there. Ah!
Okay, wisdom saving throw. Oh boy. It's funny. I have proficiency in wisdom saving throws, and yet I always roll like shit. Okay, D&D Beyond, don't fuck me.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What's this?
You managed to keep your calm. Like, as mentioned, the fire she's creating is contained and precise.
Yeah.
And while she's essentially singeing trees, she is not truly burning them. Think of her as like a welding torch.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, just let her do what she needs to do, and just sit there and read, and just wait patiently.
By the end of things, the sun is beginning to set. Her knuckles and fingers are bleeding, and you can see that embers and flames are licking at the tips of her hair, and her eyes are deeply bloodshot and appear almost red in the lighting, as she, seeming almost like drunk from the exhaustion, stumbles backwards away from the tree she's been tearing at. And at this point, this entire clearing has just been burned and maimed, basically. And there's literally just these swaths of grass that have just been completely burned away and dead. But as she stumbles away, she looks up at the sky, finally sheaths her blades, and runs a hand through her hair, sweaty and exhausted, before, as she's like pulling her hair back to get it out of her face and turning to head back to camp, she finally spots you sitting on the ground.
I'll just give her a little wave.
She stares at you for a long moment, you can almost hear the windows crashing sound effect as she like processes your presence.
Yeah. Like, how long have you been sitting there?
Yeah. How much of that incredibly private moment did you just see and not tell me you were watching?
I mean, she wasn't like actively watching it.
I mean, she was present.
She was present. She wasn't like gawking. Jeez.
She stares at you for a long moment before taking her hands out of her hair and kind of uncharacteristically nervously taking a step back from you and looking around at the trees she's harmed.
I'm just gonna shake my head. It's. You don't have to say anything. You're absolutely fine. Come here. Let me take care of you.
No,
Yeah,
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'll have just some ale over it, and it'll be taken care of.
Oh, please, Aggie.
I'm fine. Just I'm sorry. I needed to cool off, blow off some steam. You know.
I'm sorry that I caused that. I didn't.
No,
I think. Speaking of ale, would you like to get some with me and we can talk?
I'll see if medical's willing to part with some of it.
And kind of give her a smile. Are you sure you won't let me at least give you a little bit of healing for your knuckles?
I'm fine. Just you got to save it for your team. I got this.
But you're part of the team.
Nah, I'm just the meathead.
No, the meathead is Gil, or whatever the fuck his name is now. Wes is. That's the meathead.
Do you think, like, by the last chapter of this story, do you think we'll all have gotten it right?
No,
No.
absolutely not. Fuck no. Are you kidding me?
Oh no, they will. I'll just change my name again.
Yeah, they'll get it right in hindsight. She starts to head back to camp and seems to be kind of giving you a bit of a wide berth.
Yeah, I'll just kind of let her pass and I guess gather my notes and just be like, just behind her, just give her her space that she needs. And like I said, I'll let her come to me.
The two of you reach the campsite again. The camp at this point has fortified against the storm, and while you can hear quite a few complaints about sand and shoes and food, otherwise the camp has not been further assailed. Zephyr and What's-Is are nowhere to be seen, but Caleb can be seen just kind of socializing with the Debadron troops at the moment. And Agnes heads to what you presume to be a medical tent. Although you are a bit surprised because as soon as she sits down and you can see one of the Autumnfall elves approach her, she just holds up her knuckles, and you can see the healer give like a visible like, and just leaves the tent. And Sundragon kind of gives a bit of a smirk and rubs the back of their neck. You get the impression this happens a lot.
I can do this
That's
without
fair.
magic, right, Aggie? I can do this. I don't need magic to heal you.
I know. You need those supplies, Luce. It's my fault I got hurt. I should be the one to take care of it.
She just kind of looks down sadly, and if that's what you want.
She gives you a smile and kind of stares down at her burnt and bloodied hands for a little while. Eventually, to your surprise, Queen Autumnfall enters and just stares down at Agnes haughtily for a moment before rolling her eyes. Giving those trees a stern talking to again, Agnes? Sorry. Is that weird? I know elves are weird about that sort of thing. I'm a light elf, not a wood elf. Agnes just gives a shrug. Elves is elves. You got something stronger than
I
elf?
can say the same thing about I can say the same thing about humans, right?
Oh yeah, humans are humans too.
Just to give her a "oh you" smile.
Autumnfall rolls her eyes and begins to pull bandages and what appears to be skins that, from the smell, are filled with some sort of alcohol.
Instinctively, I'll reach out for them, but then just kind of try to reel myself back in. Sorry.
Autumnfall doesn't even initially appear to notice you doing it, but just kind of look to you whenever you apologize and just kind of gives you a very, very, very slight nod before kneeling down to Agnes and beginning to hold her like twice the size and 3 times the tan and wrinkled hand in her own, and dousing it with a strange pink liquid that causes Agnes to wince a little bit. But as
Can
Agnes,
I identify it?
roll nature.
Nature.
Have to decide what stat this would be.
Interesting. Okay, nature. I'll also note that because she's down, she can notice that Lucian's eyes are a little bit on the misty side, as if this is hurting her more than anything. Let's see. You said nature?
Yep.
Yes.
D&D Beyond, please let me roll. Thank you. I have a +5 in nature, I guess, because I'm an elf.
That's not an elf thing, but
15.
All right. Technically, this one sort of is an elf thing. You are able to recognize this as elven wine, better known to non-elves as elf piss, because it tastes fucking horrid to anything that isn't an elf. It is supposedly enchanted, but more than likely it's just like mixed in a certain way that while elvish tastes can handle it, and to you it just tastes like a fine sugary sweet wine, to humans or other species it is so overwhelmingly sweet that most literally physically cannot swallow it. It is said that only 1 in 100 outsiders have ever been able to stomach the stuff. And sure enough, Agnes reaches out curiously for the water skin to try some of it before Autumnfall kind of just like throws it to the side and waggles her finger at Agnes. I knew you were going to try that, so I used the elvish stuff. You are supposed to be a leader. Act like one. She kind of baps Agnes on the shoulder. The troops don't need to see you snot-slinging drunk whenever you're supposed to be giving orders. They might just find that relatable.
Hello?
Hello. Oh, whoa. Jeez.
Yeah, that's very robotic
Hello?
at best.
My ears are
Hello.
bleeding.
Hello?
Hello, better.
There we go.
Sorry, my Discord is being a jerk. Last thing I heard was
Always
that
this-
Agnes reached for the bottle.
Autumnfall threw it away and basically said, I knew you were going to want some, so I used the elf stuff so that you couldn't. And Agnes whined about it, and Autumnfall is basically like, you're supposed to be leading an army right now. You don't need to be drunk.
She whined about the wine.
Yes, she did.
And a little wine won't hurt.
Autumnfall glares at you, but Sundragon kind of gives you a peppy smile before her gaze kind of seems to take in your expression, and she kind of bites her lip before looking away. And, Luce, why don't you go see if Caleb needs any help with anything?
Okay. I get up and I leave.
You can hear the two of them engage in whispered conversation as you make your way out of the tent. Anything else from you today?
I guess I'll go find Caleb.
Okay. You go find Caleb. He is currently fraternizing with the troops and generals. You can see What's-His has supplied him with some fresh ammo for his rifle. But otherwise, everything seems to be in order. While things have been delayed by the storm, once it passes, you should be on track to go after that fuck.
Hey, Caleb.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm okay. Just waiting
Um.
to be able to do something.
I would like to do something too because I completely fucked up.
Is the sandstorm still going, by the way?
Yeah, you're not sure how long it's going to last. Thanks to Lucian's spell, most of it has stayed out of the camp for at least part of the day. Yeah, I'll mention whenever it has passed, but more than likely to at least last all day, if not through the night. Anything else from the two of you before we continue?
I guess I will. I don't know where. I guess I'll be sleeping tonight. I guess there's like a any. I can make my dome, so I will make my dome.
Yeah, you make your privacy dome.
Yeah,
No
second
boys,
layer of
no
air
boys
protection.
allowed. Spell with a Z.
No, nobody is allowed. Only person who is allowed is Agnes, if she wants to.
Okay,
Nobody else.
noted. Lucian, as you create a privacy dome for yourself, the day passes quietly and, thankfully, largely uneventfully. The night does fall, although the storm does continue. Between the night sky and the sand, perception is not happening.
I mean, my dome is fine. So
Yes, but the army cannot fit in your dome.
no,
Yeah.
and I don't
How-
want
how-
them in my.
How many stink eyes is she getting from that?
Well, none, because I think the dome isn't perceptible anyway.
Well, no,
I
I
can
mean
make it
like
imperceptible.
like the soldiers towards her.
You were saying he
Like-
can get invisible.
Yeah, like I said, I'm
I'm
assuming.
I'm in my hut, which they can't. Well, they can see it, but I mean, they can't see me.
Man.
So yeah, not really much of anything.
Does it like look like a boulder? Just a little...
Yeah, it looks like a boulder.
That's a nice rock.
Yeah, I like that
That's a
boulder.
nice
That's a
rock.
nice boulder.
Nice boulder.
All right.
It's not just a boulder. It's
It's
a rock.
A rock. All right. Tucking into your rations and water skins, 1 day of each, unless you have a spell or ability to deny that. As the night passes, the storm's still raging.
All right, Elsa, calm down.
It is now day 2 of Velet, and thankfully, the month of winds is kind to you. Caleb, when you awaken the next morning, as do the rest of you in your respective sleeping places, the weather is clear this time. However, you do notice that it is essentially spring going on summer at this point. It'll be summer in a couple weeks, but it's Yav. It's still fucking cold.
Yeah.
However, I'll say for Yav, it's very temperate. You know how cold things got in our area during that big freeze a while back?
Mhm.
That's kind of what you're looking at right now.
Nice.
Very, 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 very tropical.
It's actually really nice today. Oh man, today would be so nice for a picnic, but she hates me. Oh.
Caleb,
And
from the
she's
looks-
so melodramatic.
she is.
She's an electric here. Come on.
Yeah, enough said.
Caleb, by the looks of things, the weather is clear. The sun is bright. There is some light clouds, but other than that, nothing that will interfere with your visibility. And to make a good situation better, the sun actually provides enough heat just as it's on you that once you get clear of the forest, the warmth from the sun will make up for the cold in the air. So, weather's good, visibility's good. If you want to march your troops, now's as good a time as any you're going to get to do it.
Alright, he's gonna start sending them all to do the duties he set out.
All right. Do you want to keep the same arrangement we had been going for in the previous session as well, with you guys going with the scouts heading to the farm?
Yeah. Caleb
Okay.
will go with the scouts going to the farm.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'll go too.
Yeah, like we had assumed that most of the party's going, unless anyone specifically doesn't want to. So I know you guys had said you were going to go last time, but just to confirm, Zephyr, Lucy, and you tagging along as well?
Unless I don't think I had duty. I don't think I had anything else unless I had a visitor. But if I didn't have a visitor, I'm just gonna assume that she doesn't want to see me. So yeah, I'll go.
Okay. As you all gather up, reassembling the troops, Caleb, you give the Tibadran militia their orders. As a refresher, both for What's-His benefit so that he's on the same page, and just as a refresher for everyone else, 100 Tibadrans in total will be going to scout the walls, dividing up into small groups of 20 or so to check out different sections. 50 Tibadrans will be returning back the way you would come to go back to the ship you had stolen to retrieve some of the guns from the hold. 30 Tibadrans will be monitoring the roads and attacking any caravans that pass through. 12 Tibadrans are heading out into the desert to find the Knoll camp after getting the location from the Queens. And the remaining 174 will be staying at the camp, ready to do whatever is needed of them.
I was gonna have like all the remaining ones just help with dealing with caravans.
Okay, so in that case,
Basically trying to help maintain the siege that way.
Alright, so in that case, 104 Tibadrians on caravan duty.
Yeah, they'll just be kind of roaming around looking for anyone trying to get in or out of the city.
Noted.
And take and rob them blind if they are.
Okay.
Yeah, their favorite pastime.
Oh yeah. It's a Tibadrian classic. Alright.
It's what we're good at.
Fair point.
I figure it's the best thing a Tibadrian can contribute to a siege is to help deal with the supplies trying to get in.
Yeah. One thing I did want to clarify on that front is the matter of the express. Most commerce that passes through this area is delivered by train. Do you wish for the Tibadrians to interfere if the train passes, or leave the train and just focus on caravans?
I think... Okay, so Caleb will instruct them that they will stop the trains to make sure they're not bringing in any, like, supplies and stuff. And also, whichever train comes through, he's gonna tell his thieves to give them a message that during this siege, there will be no trains into Toradana.
No.
Basically, a warning that if you keep sending trains here, we're going to keep robbing them.
Okay, noted. The Tibadrians have their orders. They will act on them as best as they are able. As a good chunk of the Tibadrian military breaks away to tend to their tasks, you all join the advanced scouting force and begin making your way towards Toradana. As mentioned, I have a visual map representing it on Roll20, just to give you an idea of at least like space and terrain. So with that said, is there anything anyone would like to do as you make your way out to the farmland? It will likely take you about an hour. Now let me do a quick check here. I believe that's...
I do have a question. Did we have this part mapped out?
Yes.
I want to get out my journal and make sure that I have like either a map or a way to draw a map by memory.
As long as you have parchment on hand of some kind, you can do that.
Yeah, I have parchment.
Then just basically knock off that one of those is being used for that, but otherwise, yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Anything else? And yeah, just confirmed. Yeah, it'll take you about an hour to get there.
I'm keeping an eye on the walls to see if they send anyone out to intercept us.
Noted. Roll perception. Anyone else?
Yeah, Caleb wanted to, for the first bit, he's gonna tell his thieves that they are just scouting areas. They're not trying to attack anything. The ones that are looking at the walls and the farmland and stuff like that.
Okay.
Basically, they are to avoid getting... The ones looking at the walls and farmland and such are to avoid getting into fights.
Alright, so got it. Do not engage, retreat when engaged. Alright. Anything else?
Obviously, the ones raiding shit have to get into fight.
I mean, yeah, for the scouts specifically.
Yeah.
Alright.
I guess I will also... I'll help with perception since I'm like mapping out and trying to like find different ways of mapping this out.
Will do. What's his roll with advantage?
So I'll help.
Alright. Anything else?
No.
Okay. What's his perception?
So the first one is a natural 20.
Okay.
The second one is a natural 1.
Okay.
Lucian's too much in a...
Yeah, I was gonna say, Lucy is definitely in too much of a funk to percept properly, especially when she's busy drawing a map with her. You have a keen mind, not a supercomputer.
Yeah.
But as mentioned, military is an instinct that comes to you naturally. You keep a careful eye on both the walls and your surroundings as you grow closer. I will mention if you see anything noteworthy with your natural 20.
Oh, that would be a total of 24 if that is important.
Yes, actually, thank you.
And you see, Jared, you see Lucian basically, she's looking at things, but she's not looking at them. You know, like when you look at something, but you're actually like looking past it.
Yes.
Yeah, just your
I
head's
do it
facing
quite
that
often.
way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I'll make sure she doesn't walk into any ditches or something.
Yeah.
We can't have our
cares
healer
right
get
now.
a sprained leg.
Not like she cares right now.
Yeah, you like tug on the cloak periodically to like steer her. All right.
I just get a stick of encouragement and just nudge her a little bit this way, a little bit that way.
Yeah, like keep it a fucking wandering fucking animal.
The encouragement stick.
The Tebadrin scouts head deeper into the forest, and after about a half hour, you reach the point where the tree line starts to get cut in favor of lumberyards and farmland. And Caleb, at that point, your troops will disperse. Basically, as we discussed, each one essentially scouting out a different chunk of wall. So that leaves, for the ones that will be following you to your scouting destination, it will be all of you guys and a squad of 24 Tebadrins scouting out the farmland together. The remaining force is scouting out either different chunks of the wall or different specks of the farmland.
And
But
then 12 of them are also scouting that camp, right?
No, yeah, bear in mind, this is out of just the scouting force. All the other ones have already been, they're already attending to their own things.
And I know you like for us to say this stuff earlier. Could I bring the paladins with us in case we run into a fight?
Noted. How do you want them distributed?
They'll be coming with our group individually, like
Okay.
just the one going to the farm.
All right, Caleb, you organize the march. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. He'll just say he wants to make sure that they're keep those forces a little more back since they're not as sneaky.
Yeah, like I'll stay back with them, and we'll be about 50 feet behind them.
Okay, noted.
Not too far, but still close enough to help if shit goes down.
Yeah. All right, so in that case, it is you guys, 24 Tebadrins, and 13 Oathbreakers from Denouement. Taking your small squadron of about 40 in total, you leave the tree line and begin to skulk through the farmlands. You can see that the farms themselves are shockingly decently kept. Although you do notice the yields are not great. It appears that there is still a bit of an adjustment as they're learning to tolerate the Yavik climate. And it appears their approach to that has been less, figure out like what plants grow and in what seasons, and more plant our shit until the weather and environment gets the fucking memo. But you notice that the farms themselves appear to be largely unoccupied. There are houses and signs that there would be habitation, and there's no damage to indicate that anything violent happened. And the Western Alliance claimed that they have made no aggressive moves on the city outside of very minor little pokes. The lack of habitation, as a result, is rather unsettling, as if some sort of wind had blown through this land and simply abducted everyone. You assume perhaps they were recalled into the city. Sorry, I had to sneeze again. You assume they were likely recalled into the city, but you don't know.
And what about the patrol?
I was just about to ask about that.
You do see it first with your natural 20, and I will give you more specific details, but yes. Caleb.
Yes.
And this goes for all of you. As usual, I'll just note different things as we go. You come about a half hour of walking deeper into the farmland, passing down just abandoned roads that have fallen into disuse, not seeing anyone, farmer or soldier, before eventually you come through this babbling little brook that just kind of gently flows through the farmland, sort of forming a natural irrigation. You will need to cross it to go any further, and it is rather wide and appears semi-deep. But you do see the farm ahead of you is occupied with a contingent of Barbaris soldiers out on patrol. You can see several swordsmen, as well as several riflemen patrolling the farmhouse and the roads. With your natural 20, I will say, especially at a distance, and again with a mind for military observation, you make about 66 soldiers in total patrolling this chunk of farm, which you weren't here for it, but so I will make special note of it for you. That's less than a fourth of what the Alliance claimed was here. The Alliance claimed that whenever they checked out the farmland before you guys got here, there were like at least 100 or more troops patrolling it. Now there's a little less than a fourth of what you would expect based on that. However, I will add that you did see in your earlier observations that the patrol does go a little bit further into the farmland before circling back, so it is possible that there's more that are just ahead of these guys or behind them. But as far as you can see in the immediate vicinity, there are 66 soldiers total, and I will make special mention that you notice it is not just swordsmen and gunners. There is a cannon set up in a fortified position on the road.
I will point that out to our Thief King.
All right. Caleb?
And I'll put it on the map as well.
Yep. Lucian, you scribe viciously as Caleb, and the Oathbreakers join with the forward force and inform you that there's 66 troops in total, and they appear to have gotten a cannon into a defensive position, making infiltration, especially with large groups, a dangerous prospect. And from the sounds of it, even with the Oathbreakers providing unexpected reinforcements, you are still slightly outnumbered.
Well, yeah, this small part is outnumbered.
Mm-hmm. For the rest of you, what you were able to observe, Lucian, you can see that, and here I'll go ahead and shift you guys to that map now. You guys are on the other side of a babbling brook. Ahead of you, you can see that facing towards you is a stretch of farmland with a few bags of material, some bales of hay, wheelbarrows, that sort of thing, overlooking a field of what appear to be mostly vegetables, with a scarecrow erected in the center. You can see that there are 4 units in total of patrol, along with the cannon.
Can I say one thing to Caleb?
Please.
It would kind of be a shame if someone were to, set fire to the hay and all of these beautiful crops, making their food go out. Wouldn't it just be awful?
Yeah, there's certainly options, but we're just scouting for now to take in all of our possibilities.
I understand. I was just trying to say.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
Caleb, you are able to make out that the house across the street from this farm appears to be a farm more built for animals rather than plants. You can see a stable built next to it that could offer a potential way in, but the animals also appear to be missing. You have not seen anything outside of plants and the patrolling soldiers in this region. And Zephyr, I will say you notice that there are some doors leading into what you presume to be a cellar below the house across the street. The soldiers do not appear to have noticed the arrival of the Tibadran force yet, but Caleb, as mentioned, the only way across is to swim the brook, which will need to be done stealthily if you intend to get a closer look. This is the closest you can get without potentially being spotted.
Alright, we'll just play it safe. I think we've seen plenty enough for now.
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything?
I'll
No.
go invisible.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Watson is gonna stay behind. He wants to see if they haul that cannon around with them, or if they leave it behind, stashed somewhere.
Oh yeah, I was gonna note that Caleb was just going to observe from this position for a while.
Okay.
Like with the, and maybe have the group spread out a little bit to try to get more angles, but they're not gonna cross the river.
Noted.
Did you need anything more from me? Because she was just gonna map out the rest of it and then just head back.
All right. Lucian?
I guess we'll ask Caleb. Did you need anything else? I think this is good for now, and then later we can map out some more.
You're free to do whatever you wish. If you want to stay and observe more, or if you want to go do something else, that's fine.
I'm not a sit and wait kind of girl. You should know this.
All right. Lucian, taking some time to finalize your map. Caleb, you order the troops to spread out, but stay hidden and do not attempt to cross. Zephyr, you vanish from sight, as you curiously observe the troops on the cannon and watch to see what they do. I would just go ahead and position you guys on the map based on those relative locations.
Not Zephyr using his ring of water walk to just go across the river.
So yeah, with that in mind, since the rest of you are going to assumingly watch whatever carnage is about to happen, Zephyr,
yeah,
what are you doing? What the fuck is Zephyr doing?
that needs to be a shirt.
Yeah, what is Zephyr? Yeah, hey, we haven't heard from Zephyr in a while. Oh shit.
Oh, it's instead of where is Waldo, it's where is Zephyr.
Yeah. I'm going to, I would like to, I guess, sneak up to the cannon and, I'm gonna try to think what would be the best spot to pour it on, but I'm gonna pour acid on the cannon.
Noted. Okay, so first of all, yeah, do you have your Ring of Water Walk?
I do, yes.
Okay, so yeah, so you don't have to worry about stealth then, because even with invisible, you would still have to make sure they didn't see disturbances in the water, but as usual, Zephyr, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Zephyr, you invisibly, and without even disturbing the fucking water, make your way over to the cannon, invisibly and silently. Go ahead and roll stealth with advantage just for getting that close, but yeah, I mean, knowing you're probably going to do it, but for fun, let's have a roll.
Yeah, that's natural. It would be 25.
And that's a natural 1 on perception for me, dog. Zephyr, as you get closer, not only do they not notice you, they appear honestly pretty bored. From what you've heard and from what What's has confirmed, they've been doing this shit all day, every day, presumably for weeks. So yeah, they appear pretty fucking tired of it. And you can hear there are 2 men operating the cannon when you approach. They don't notice you at all as you kind of curiously decide where would be a good place to pour acid, and just kind of quietly like chatter to each other as you consider your options.
Not them just saying, "Oh, it would be horrible if something happened to this spot right here on the cannon."
What's the cannon? Where's the cannon facing?
It is currently facing this way, but it is designed in such a way that it could be quickly turned to face this way or this way as needed. So basically, the only place it couldn't reliably shoot behind is behind itself.
Yeah. Where I perfectly am.
Yep.
Alright. And how is the turning mechanism?
There are 2 wheels built into the side that basically if you turned one wheel one way and the other wheel the other way, it would turn in the opposite direction of the first wheel.
Okay.
Essentially, to make it simple, there is an axis connecting 2 wheels to it that you would turn to turn the cannon.
I'm a port on that.
Okay. You and your fucking acid. Alright. Let me double
What's
check.
the axis made out of?
Wood.
Does acid doesn't work on wood, does it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Acid will work on anything it can react with.
Yeah.
Alright, and Zephyr, where are you getting the acid from, just in case it's like a specific item I need to be aware of?
Yeah, it's the alchemy jug. I can pour,
Okay, that's what I thought, just checking.
Yeah, I can produce 8 ounces of acid.
Alright, give me just a second to confirm how we're going to go about this. Okay. Make an improvised weapon attack with advantage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now I say improvised weapon attack. Do I add any modifiers?
Yes. I will say... Normally this would be strength, but I will allow that this could count as dexterity.
Good. Because that would suck.
Yeah, I'll be nice.
That would be 21 then.
That is a hit. Roll damage. This will do 2d6.
Alright. 8.
Noted. Give me just a second. Okay. Okay. And how many ounces does your thing produce?
8 ounces. A maximum of 8 ounces for acid.
Okay, let me double check something real quick, because those stats are for a vial of acid. I need to see how much overkill you're about to put on this fucking innocent piece of siege technology.
A vial of acid, which is...
Okay, a vial is up to 4 ounces, so you're doing twice that. So that makes it 16 damage. Okay. Zephyr, you uncork your decanter and begin to like oiling a machine, but in reverse. You begin to pour acid on the axis between the cannon's wheels. Smoke begins to rise, and a horrible smell reaches you as your acid cuts through half of the axle before you run out of fluid. The cannon is badly damaged, but the axis is not fully broken yet. But yeah, I'll say you're about halfway there. And given a nat 1 on perception, the troops have still not noticed you and are just conversing casually. And in fact, you even, as you're pouring it, hear one of them like, oh God, Greg, you fucker! Just, what? It's not me, I thought it was you! Come on, man, you know we can't go anywhere! But can't hold it in until we're off patrol? Oh, fuck you, hold it in until we're off patrol. We're not off patrol for another 6 hours! Then he kind of rolls his eyes and just... I'm just glad we got the animals out of here. You want to talk about bad smells? Yeah, tell me about it. Never could stand places like this.
That's a human for you.
Yeah. Zephyr, you are, I believe, out of acid, but again, the axis is halfway to completely being destroyed. Is there anything else you wish to do? You are still completely unnoticed.
Don't really have a big heavy weapon. Trying to see. I mean, the only heavy weapon I got, which would be Mace of Disruption or Disruption.
Mace of Disruption.
Yeah, I was gonna give it to you because honestly, you've had more use out of it.
Hadn't gotten around to it yet.
Well, that I think like most of your weapons do like better or same.
Fair.
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily need to be a heavy weapon for the record.
Yeah, but I figured to just destroy it. But I mean, I guess because a dagger would. Could I finish it off with a dagger?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing's preventing you.
I know. It's just I figured it'd take more.
Yeah, but basically, as long as you're willing to spend the time on it, yes, you can do that.
Yeah, but I would probably be seen by.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
What you gonna do, bad boy?
Gonna do what you gonna do.
Yeah, what you gonna do when the Barbaris troops come for you?
I guess let's see what these people are made of. I'm gonna grab my whisper and just kind of give a good jab at the part that's hurt.
Noted. For fun, let me check something real quick. Okay, sadly, I was curious if sneak attack applied to objects. It does not, unfortunately, but... Alright. Zephyr, pulling free whisper, roll stealth.
Alright. That would be a dirty 20.
Alright. Zephyr, while the troops do appear to be a bit more attentive now, you are stealthier than they are paying attention. So it takes a little bit of time, but after about I'd say 2 minutes, you kind of delicately work away at the splintered and decayed wood that rotted beneath the acid's touch, before finally, now I will say, more than likely once this axle's broken, the whole thing's just going to collapse. So just before I start flavoring, what do you want to do the instant the cannon breaks?
The instant the cannon breaks, I want to
bolt.
I'm gonna come over here.
Oh, let me check the map. Sorry.
These guys are really big.
Oh no, yeah, it's because they represent, in the case of the cannons, some of the most of those squares, these ones are the cannon itself. These two back here are just the guys. And then for these guys, this represents a big ass unit of troops.
Right over here.
Noted. Caleb, Lucian. Zephyr vanished the moment Caleb turned to give orders to the troops, but you guys know him well. He's likely off doing something or other, and something or other presents itself after he's gone for about maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah, he doesn't disappoint.
Caleb, Lucian, you see the cannon that the troops are watching over just suddenly fucking collapse under its own weight, crumbling into the dirt road below. You hear Greg and the other soldier let out a series of curses as all of the patrols turn to look. All of them immediately start moving in that direction. As you can hear them immediately start shouting at each other and blaming the soldiers on it for breaking it, but they of course insist that, like, oh, we didn't do anything! And as they're arguing with each other, none of you see it, but Zephyr, you effortlessly slip away from the patrols and past one of the cellar doors near the stables.
I'm doing a re-head count to see how many more show up from sound.
Roll perception.
19.
With your natural 20 earlier, you had a pretty good idea of of how many troops were here. But I will note for Caleb and Lucian's benefit that, yeah, you wouldn't have been able to see them earlier, but yeah, this unit of riflemen comes into sight.
I can't see it.
What's had seen it earlier and pointed it out, but none of you knew where they were exactly. But yeah, they're working their way over here now. All's troops are now on the road and are trying to see what the fuck happened to their cannon. Because some poor bastard's gonna have to be the guy who explains that to the king.
Let's all do this.
Oh, let me see.
I'm just trying to...
What you doing?
Share it.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, as I'll say, does Zephyr single-handedly take on the entire unit?
That would be pretty fucking funny, honestly, but I doubt it. Zephyr, as you go and hide, they do not notice you yet, but they are seemingly getting ready to begin investigating to see what happened. It does seem like the troops do get it across that they genuinely were just sitting here doing their job when it suddenly collapsed. So they're now investigating it to see what exactly happened.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you'd like to do, or are you just gonna keep stealthing and doing some fucking guerrilla tactics?
I almost just want to go crazy here and just be like... Hold on, let me see how this, Okay. Do I have... How much control do I have?
In terms of what?
In terms of this object.
Oh.
This... I'm gonna, you know what, I guess, I wanna... Zephyr's gonna have a little fun here. I would like to throw, a token in the air.
Oh, no. Are you actually shitting me, Zephyr? Now?
Yes.
Token?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you shitting me, Zephyr?
Oh my god, this is gonna... Okay. Because I want you to know something, Zephyr. This isn't a complaint for the record, I'm more just pointing it out. I want you to know something, Zephyr. What you're about to do is even worse in the context of, like, the setting than it is in normal D&D. I just want you to know that. Like... These things eat elephants.
Alright. Well, they have plenty to eat. You know, granted, I can't order them to attack.
I am really curious what's about to happen.
Chaos. That's about to happen.
Hold on a second. I need to check a few things.
If he had something like that, why didn't he attach that to an arrow and shoot it into the city?
Well,
it's not really built for fighting.
Yeah, he doesn't fight. It's just big. I told you about it before, but it's a little while back. So
yeah, no, it has been a while. I remembered you had it, so that's why I'm not completely surprised. I was more just like, you're doing it now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. None of you see what Zephyr's doing. Everything he's doing is completely lost on you. Do I have a token for this? Hang on, let me see what tokens are available to me here. Zephyr. You take out the feather labeled token. Walk it along your fingers before flipping it into the air. Do you have like a specific place you're gonna try and essentially put it?
I guess I'll put it like it's a tiny boy. Bruh. I believe is that the actual size?
In terms of D&D, yes.
I know it's enormous, so.
Yeah, gargantuan, actually.
Oh yeah. I will have it, I guess, like over here, and I'll make sure I'm behind the box.
All right. It'll have to kind of be partially on the rooftop, and that's not a box. That's a door into the cellar.
Oh.
I mean, you can still stand on it. I'm just making sure you know where you are.
Yeah.
All right. Is it being on the roof okay? Just because it can't really comfortably fit here.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So none of you see what Zephyr does. Zephyr, you walk the coin before flipping it up into the air, and it lands up in the gutter of the farmhouse. There's a moment of silence before Caleb, Lucian. Also, I'm getting a little bit of echo from your mic. Can you? Again, I'm assuming you just turn me down. It'll be fine. But anyways, sorry. Just wanted. As mentioned, these farmlands are situated in the valley near a mountain range. You all hear this just long, distant... this, like, echoing, massive bird call that just swoops down from the mountains. You can see all of the soldiers instantly freeze in place and start looking around in nervous panic. You swear to the gods, it looks like one of the mountains starts to move. Before you see, flying from the mountains, a massive eagle. In D&D terms, in the D&D terms, it's a little bit on the smaller side, but I'm mentioning how big it actually is. Flying down from the mountains, Caleb, Lucian, you see an eagle of unthinkable size. Its feathers alone are 30 feet long. So big that this thing has to presumably feed on much larger game than what an eagle typically would. And as it flies down, it's this low brownish, eagle color that blends it with the mountain perfectly. All of the soldiers instantly start screaming and panicking and readying weapons. The two guys on the cannon just fucking bolt. Like, no, they have no cannon. They didn't bring much for a fight. They're just fucking out of here. And for fun, I'm just gonna make a morale check on these units. Because that's a fucking rock Zephyr just summoned. All but this group of actually, I'll say all but this group. All but this group of soldiers just fucking run. Like, they're not even gonna try and stay and fight. As you all see this massive bird fly down from the mountains, give a great screech as it stretches its wings before...
Wait, what did I fucking miss?
Zephyr just summoned a rock, as in the mythical fucking eagle that eats elephants.
Oh.
It smashes into a landing on the roof of one of these houses and gives a screech that echoes through the surrounding forests. As Zephyr, your summon awaits your orders.
Yes, I won't be going to camp.
I like to imagine Lucian just, like, dropping their journal and pen, just staring.
Yeah, she's like, what did I... Wait, I turned my back for 5 minutes? What the fuck?
It's like, Zephyr, can you not do some crazy shit for 5 minutes?
Turn my back and he does this shit. Okay, I'll pick up my pen and my notebook, put it away, and I'll join the others.
Oh my goodness.
And I'll just like, tell me that this thing is on our side.
The soldiers just grab their fucking weapons as half of their number just book it and seem like they're ready to die fighting, at least. Zephyr?
For the ones that book it, I'm guessing, like, they seem like they're actually soldiers, or are they civilians in
No,
soldier
these
garb?
seem like they're uniformed, they have guns, these are soldiers.
Just not soldier enough to fight a giant bird.
Yeah, fight, because to give you an idea, again, it's smaller because D&D, like, obviously has to downplay the size of some things in mythology, but to give you an idea, if we were talking realistically, let me do some quick back of the napkin math here. No, a little bit bigger. This is how big this thing would be if this battle map was completely realistic.
Well, shit. That would be the best pet ever.
Zephyr, what do you command your summon to do? There is one unit you didn't scare off.
I have limitations.
I mean, realistically, if it's like super massive, it probably would run into square cube law.
Half of mythology is going to fall apart if we open that can of worms. This isn't even that big of a mythological monster, all things considered. Yeah, Zeph, what do you do, bud?
Yeah, just if you apply square cube law, all fantasy instantly falls apart.
Yeah.
A lot of sci-fi too.
Oh yeah. Square cube law sucks. Yeah, so Zeph, what are you doing, bud?
I'm trying to read what's capable of.
Alright, sorry, just wanted to check.
Yeah. I'm trying to see does it say it says a rock right on there?
Yeah, rock.
Status of a rock. Just because picture.
Yeah. Obeys your simple commands, can't attack, but it can carry things. It only disappears if you dismiss it.
I guess you could say they're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Oh yeah, like there's a fence behind them, so kinda, yeah.
Well, there's also ground underneath them. Squish.
Squish.
I want to see this HP. Oh, he's got quite a bit of HP.
Yeah, he does, bud. Yeah, he does.
Okay. I was just making sure.
I wonder if our party could even fight it.
Yeah, I think we could.
Yeah, it'd be a fight. Like, it would definitely do some damage. But yeah, you could. It'd be a boss fight at your level.
Yeah, not what's this just going on a ride on his back for fun.
Good.
Yeah,
He jumped on a giant ass pig. What's to stop jumping on an eagle?
Yeah.
Alright.
In the-
I'm gonna have.
Oh, you got it? Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the bird. Just kind of fly just in circles around them.
Oh my god. Roll intimidation.
Yeah.
And all. Given that they can't see you, so they think that this thing is just hunting, roll with advantage.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, that will be a 15.
Alright. The soldiers hold strong, but with the cannons gone and their riflemen fucked off to the hills, they don't really have a means of fighting it right now, so, and you guys on the shore see this as well. You have no idea Zephyr's commanding it, but you do see the rock is just circling in this like vulture-esque pattern over the farmland, and the soldiers just are forming a spear wall and just cowering in place. They're not scared enough to retreat, but they don't seem to have the means to actually attack it unless it attacks them first.
Are the others gonna do anything?
Yeah, so you guys on the shore across the brook. Thanks to
I guess I'll look at Caleb and what says, I'm not a strategist, but I think now's a good time to try.
Yeah, I agree. And he's going to start working his way through the water while the enemy's distracted.
I'll look at Caleb. Do you want me to message Aggie and have the troops come and help us?
I don't know how
That'll
much
take
of
a
an
while.
opportunity it'll really. Yeah, if we're going to do anything, it's going to have to be quick, and I don't know if this will be good enough for a full-on attack yet. But it might be good to cut down a few of them.
So should I get people to come here? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, it'll probably take them a while to get here. We'll probably just need to deal with it with who we got. I guess you could try messaging them if they want. I don't know if they'll be able to get here in time, though.
What's
Alright,
his?
I'm gonna message. Actually, instead of messaging Aggie, because I think I'm on her shit list, I will message Autumn Fall.
Noted.
Dang, the Harpy Queen herself.
What's his? What are you doing?
Oh, he's heading across the water
Yeah.
with his paladin group.
All right. Are you gonna try and be sneaky or just charging into the fray?
Sneaky. He wants to get up behind the enemy picket line
All right.
and
Noted.
get him from behind.
On behalf of you and your Oathbreakers, roll stealth. If you don't have it already, the Oathbreakers will be rolling a disadvantage. So just apply disadvantage.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll. In the meantime, Lucian, what do you message?
I'm gonna message Autumn Fall, and I will say a big bird just started attacking. Is this the citadel that we're at?
No, there's just a farm outside of it.
It's just a farm.
The farm.
This is why I could have kind of didn't want to message, but he doesn't want to say no, and then Lucian's all like, nobody wants me to do anything.
All right. Anything else?
Lucy, I guess she went really quiet.
I'm fine. Don't know if there will be time for you to come. Hang on, I'm counting.
You got 6 left.
I know.
No, I ain't got
We
mine.
will hold it down, I guess, whatever.
Okay. Lucian, you get a response fairly quickly. I noticed. We'll send who we can. Try not to get killed out there.
Might be nice to have reinforcements.
Caleb, what will you be doing? What's-his is already heading across the river.
I guess I'll be
Zephyr's
trying to get
goes where?
his people together to try to get something out of this.
Okay.
Take advantage of the opportunity that's presented itself.
All right. Roll stealth. Your troops don't have any heavy armor or things like cavalry to worry about, so you just roll flat as you normally would.
Does sound play a part in this?
Yeah. Swimming across a river. I'd say so. Yeah. Lucian, what will you be doing?
I'm gonna take my broom of flying, and I'm gonna fly up to where, just like a little bit below where the bird is circling, and I'm gonna fucking showboat this and start cackling like an evil witch. Alright.
No.
Distraction.
Distraction, exactly.
All right. So with your broom
On
of
top
flying,
of distraction.
you'll be able to get there. What's your stealth?
Good thing I had advantage.
Is a dirty 20.
Wow.
Give them advantage with my distracting them.
I'm not gonna say that, but you will be providing a benefit in something else that I will reveal in a moment.
God, I just had the ultimate advantage swing.
What's that?
The first roll was a nat 1. The second roll was a nat 20.
All right.
That is like the ultimate swing right there.
And Caleb, any preference on where you want you and the troops to go? What's-his is specifically heading for the flank up here, but you can head anywhere along this coastline.
Hold on. Let me actually get into the thing. I didn't realize we had one for this.
No worries, yeah.
Launch game already, you piece of shit.
But in the meantime, I'll give everyone else's results. Lucian, you take off flying, and as you hover over the farmhouse nearest to the river, you begin to let out mad witch-like cackles, playing the part of a true hag. And the soldiers immediately begin babbling even more fearfully.
Wait, so how is what's this going?
He is going this way to come at them from this flank.
Okay. What do we got? Okay, hold on. Let me get my fucking.
Yeah, and they're basically just forming a spear wall in this little region here.
Okay, so what do we got like right here? What's all this shit?
These are crops. This is a scarecrow. These are just hay bales, and this is just some supplies outside of the farmhouse.
Is there like a back entrance into the farmhouse? Is there a back
Yes,
door?
this is a porch that leads into the house.
Okay, so Caleb's gonna have. Caleb's basically gonna kind of have some of the forces like. Is it like crops that you could like hide amongst? Is it like wheat fields?
If you like, not wheat fields, it's like vegetables. But yeah, if you like, essentially ducked and like crawled, you could hide among them.
Okay, Caleb's basically gonna try to have some forces hide in the fields, and some are gonna get up into positions in the farmhouse.
All right, so I'll kind of put you in the middle here. All right. Caleb, giving your orders to the Tebadran forces. What's is yours to the Oathbreakers? As Lucian swings overhead below the swirling bird, the army begins to stealthily swim across the river. Can we just mention I want to really illustrate for a second. This is a unit of 16 men. As far as they can perceive, their cannon just fucking combusted, and they were just about to be like, okay, you two idiots clearly like did something wrong and broke it. But now a fucking mythical bird of prey that's not even native to this region is attacking them.
They've probably never seen anything like this in their life.
Yeah, and then as they're like, okay, this is bad, a fucking witch appears, so now Lucian, you can hear they're like already beginning to like, are we cursed? Did we fuck up? What ancient burial ground did we disturb to deserve this?
They're barbarous and
Yeah.
yes, they are cursed.
And pretty and your little dog too.
Zephyr.
No, not our dog.
Your friendly armies are moving to
I would have
stealthily
gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling kids and their stupid dog.
Zephyr, you do see What's-His and his Oathbreakers swimming across the river, but Caleb and his troops are just fucking gone. But you assume they're somewhere, and you do obviously see Lucian flying in and stirring the pot. Anything else you'd like to do? Or are you just going to leave your bird to continue sowing the seeds of chaos? You're muted if you're talking.
I'm just like, what more chaos could I bring?
Yeah, like, set fire to something. Fucking.
I need to go buy
Oh
a
yeah,
tinderbox.
let's trigger Lucian while we're at it. Yep, sounds like a great idea.
Do I have a tinderbox? No.
Yeah, like Zephyrs like, well, hold on, let's see, we have options.
I do have alchemical fire, and I know how to use it. And we are in off the farm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let them see what they do, and then I will proceed. Then.
Okay.
I'd like to do something.
All right. In that case, Zeph, you wait to see what your allies are getting up to as they begin to grow closer. Yeah, we'll just circle through everyone. Lucian, what are you doing?
I'm going to drop one of my vials of alchemical fire right on the crop.
On the crops, okay.
Oh no! Oh no!
Too late. All right.
Chaos.
She's
We'll
up
be
there. She wouldn't know
captured.
anyway, so she wouldn't know that you're down there.
Oh,
Chaos.
I'm not. I'm fine.
Yeah, you're about to set fire to Caleb's hiding spot.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
There will be
Chaos.
casualties today.
The lack of coordination.
Chaos.
This is why
Lucian?
they're so closely.
Lucian, remove a flask of alchemical fire as
Yep.
you drop the flask as you fly overhead. It shatters in a field of pumpkins, and everything immediately bursts into flames.
Alright, I guess. Is it gonna spread from like this patch to this patch?
Most likely, unless this, because there is fencing, so that might like contain it. But yes, it is possible it will spread, but it will at least take some time.
Luckily, I was gonna say, he did say
Well,
his
hopefully we
troops will
deal
be
with
in the
this
other
one
one.
Yeah, like Kayla said, they'll be like in this one.
Okay, so yeah, you have time. Even in a worst case scenario, you have at least 30 seconds before before the fire spreads that far. And again, that's worst case scenario. All right, Lucian, as the pumpkin patch below catches fire, and once again, the troops are now deeply convinced that they have somehow angered fucking ancient spirits. The rest of you begin to move in. I will make a mark of fire. Lucian, make a wisdom save.
I knew this was coming.
I think
How
Lucian would
close
think
can
of
I
that.
get in a?
It's the unfortunate thing about being a pyromaniac that has a fear of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. How close can what's his get to the enemy line in to be able to throw something?
Something. Guess it worked out.
Sorry, just double checking. 20. With your movement speed, I believe your movement speed is 40, right?
Yes.
On your next turn, you'll be close enough.
Okay, he's getting one of his chemical pots
Oh
flash
no!
bang.
Oh my god!
Terrorizes.
I love it. At this point, Zephyr has even the playing field. You have the numbers advantage at this point, but you guys are still going for like the ultimate psychological warfare. All
Kayla
right.
was just trying to put
Don't
his guys in a
Barbaris.
good position.
It is guerrilla warfare.
We can psych
The
them
troops
out.
will know fear. All right.
That's a strategy.
Yeah, if there's any survivors, they will spread word of what happened back in the city, and it will demoralize them even more.
Fair. All right. Since you're going to get revealed basically no matter what, go ahead and roll me stealth to see if you can make it to that point before getting spotted. Caleb, you roll as well, but in your case, it'll preserve until you do something. So both of you roll stealth.
Still disadvantage.
Yes, heavy armor.
Wait, is this a separate stealth from earlier?
Yes. Basically, you're trying to get your army into the positions you wanted without the enemy army seeing you.
Ultimate swing again, maybe?
Let's see.
Well, did
You
it?
have advantage. What's his has
Cock.
disadvantage?
I didn't even hit my. It didn't even land on my fucking dice thing. It bounced off the edge.
Only a 16 this time.
Woe is you.
Okay, gonna have to use a point.
All right, and Lucian, your wisdom save.
I also rolled a 16.
Okay, you stay conscious. You're ready to go. You're ready. You're
All
ready to set
right.
fire to the bad guys.
I'm in character.
Alright, 27.
All right. Again, because you have some in the farmhouse, some in the field, I'll just put you here as kind of like a middle ground.
They say he'll tell the ones in the field if the fire looks like it's starting to spread to just get out of the field.
Yeah, just get out while you still can. And you and your Oathbreakers managed to make your way stealthily along the fence, staying hidden. The troops are still in their spear wall and cowering. You are close enough to throw something.
I'm going to throw a flash pot. I'm aiming for the middle to try to hit as many of these guys as I can.
Oh, you guys are maniacs. All right.
Hey, you already knew that.
Fair. Yeah, it's on me for not for not realizing it sooner. All right. And Caleb, your troops do get into position without being spotted. I will give the reaction to the flash powder in a moment, but in the meanwhile, do you have any orders you'd like to distribute once they're in their positions?
Kill them.
All right.
And that finally puts me down at even 30 flash pots left.
Pulling a flash pot to hand. Austin, again, a little bit of echo. Again, you might need to turn me down. You sling your flash pot through the air, and it crashes in the center of the unit in this bright white flash. Let me see how they do. All right, they are not immune to being blinded, so they will have to roll. And
I should hope not. They are only human after all.
well, no, it's because hordes are immune to some conditions, just for obvious reasons. Like you can't exactly restrain a horde. So I
That's
just wanted
true.
to check that blinded wasn't one of them. I will give them disadvantage because of the fact that you took them by surprise. Even if they had advantage, it wouldn't matter. Caleb, you see What's-His emerge from his hiding spot and sling a flash pot through the air. It bursts in the center of the enemy army, and I think this might be one of the first times your flash pots worked as intended, What's-His.
It
All of the
is.
troops scream and cover their eyes, completely blinded. As the moment your troops are in position. I imagine, like, Caleb, you just wait for the enemy army to be fucking blinded. The field's on fire. They're panicked. They think they're being cursed and attacked by ancient spirits. I just like to imagine Caleb just snaps his fucking fingers and the bowmen just fucking let it rip.
Yeah, and Wuz's and the paladins just walk in afterwards and finish off whatever's left. Like not even running, not even bothering. They just stroll in and just start finishing up.
Finishing up the. All right, for funsies. I don't imagine this is gonna take too much effort. Let me see here. Do. Yeah, okay. As you blind them, Caleb, you give the call. Let's go ahead and see how your fucking bandits do. And for funsies, I'll roll the damage for their bows, but go ahead and make me a sneak attack roll.
Like my sneak attack?
Yeah, since you're commanding them.
That's what, like 8 dice?
Yeah. I just want to see how much you can fuck these guys up in one go.
And I would like to specify, if I see one of them that looks to be in charge out of this group that's here, I want to keep him alive.
Noted.
Okay.
Alright, they do succeed the
There's
deck
the
save.
first pair. Second pair.
Okay. Alright, time for me to thank you to Austin and Jeremy for enhancing my dice collection, because God fucking knows I need it. I was like, I wonder if this is too many dice. Do I have too many dice? And then I have to make rolls like this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
I rolled 34 damage on sneak attack.
Very nice, very nice. Just a second, I'm rolling for your archers. Just gotta get enough dice for it.
If you need more dice, there's more in my room.
Oh no, I have enough dice. It's just that I need to like get all of the ones I need.
And not have them fly off the table.
Yeah. All right. That's 6, 7. One more. Where are you? There's got to be another D8 in here somewhere. There you are. All right.
I like that sound. That's a good sound. When it's not against us.
Caleb, your archers let it fly. And while the soldier's armor is pretty good and your soldiers are making use of kind of makeshift projectiles, so it's not as effective as like a full like squad of professional archers would be, it's still archers firing against blinded targets. The arrows strike true in the volley, and half of the squad instantly just fucking drops, and the other half are badly wounded. You lead your paladins into a charge, and I will go ahead and roll for your paladins, but you roll for yourself. Roll to hit. You have advantage because you surprised them.
Okay. And I did want to re-specify. I am keeping one of them
Yeah,
alive.
keep the commander alive.
So, how is a 28?
That'll do it. Roll damage. And it's like a normal turn, so just anything, action, bonus action, whatever you're gonna do. Okay. Okay. Just had to check stats.
So 15 slashing damage and 6 cold damage.
6 slash. Okay. That puts them at a colorful that. And as your paladins charge in,
But that's only my first attack. I can do 2 attacks.
roll to hit. Your paladins charge in and put as many of them to the sword as they can. They fail the dex save on that, which means I get to roll more dice.
And that's a 25.
More dice, more dice, more dice.
That's what to hit?
25.
That'll hit. Roll damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Man, if that ever didn't hit, that would be problematic.
So 14 slashing and another 6 frost or cold damage.
Okay. That puts them down to that. And then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yep.
And there was a time when a 25 wouldn't have hit in the Monday campaign.
Yeah.
I started forgiving that guy.
Hey, you'll get a rematch.
Soon, I hope.
Lucian, Zephyr, I would imagine you watch with a degree of pride, as with the unit taken completely off guard, totally blindsided, as the rock continues to just orbit in the air, terrifying them, and Lucian begins to spread flames amongst the farm. Caleb, you give the order to fire. Half of the army drops from that attack. And you command the Oathbreakers to charge, and they charge in and put the remaining soldiers to the sword, cutting open stomachs, letting them bleed into the dirt, before finally, as bam, 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 you're just axing down troops left and right. You see one final officer in more kind of elaborate regalia, literally on the ground, bleeding from an arrow, a sword slash across his hand, backing away from you in the dirt. You just level your axe to him, and he just throws down his weapon and puts his hands up, and just gestures up to the rock still circling. Fuck, I'm sorry! Just call off your animal! I surrender!
Yeah, I have no idea where that came from. But, hey, it's your lucky day. You get to live a little bit longer. We have questions.
I might have answers, just please don't kill me.
I will pat him down, make sure he doesn't have any other weapons and stuff, and I'll tie him up.
All right.
I'll come down as well.
All right. Caleb, Zephyr?
I will call the rock down.
You think he's about to die?
Yeah, it begins to swoop down, but flies over you guys' heads and perches back on the farmhouse, crushing bits of the roof beneath its massive elephantine talons, and looks down to your invisible location, Zephyr, and lets out a low, which you imagine would be something akin to a purr if it wasn't, that.
When did Zephyr get a bird?
It's Zephyr. Who knows?
Alright.
Caleb, anything from you?
No, I guess not for now.
Alright. Caleb, the moment the battle is declared over, your troops nervously watch the bird. Zephyr, what do you do? Because they're not going to just let their guard down just yet around a wild animal.
I'm gonna climb the bird.
Alright, you still invisible?
For now, but then as I kind of get perched on it, I'm gonna just kind of relax, like within like reasonable view, and not going invisible. Just relaxing.
All right, you guys watch as the bird lowers its head to something behind the house before lifting back up and turning around and still perched on the rooftop. It stares at all of you for a moment before lowering its head, and you see Zephyr tucked on its massive neck, just lounging like he owns the place.
Yeah, that checks.
Yeah.
Zephyr, several of the Debadran troops just fucking like holler and clap at you before Caleb, one of your soldiers, approaches you with an enthusiastic Debadran salute. Permission to begin looting, sir!
Very well. Let's go ahead and gather everything here.
My pleasure, sir.
Caleb's just like, I wonder if we can make off with this cannon and fix it.
Caleb, you approach the cannon curiously as you begin looking over it. Yeah, Zephyr only damaged the turning axle. If you can get your troops to carry it, the wheels still work. The axle would just need to be repaired, and it'd be good as new.
Caleb will gather some troops and see if they can manage to drag it.
All right. In the meantime, you see that Whatsis has taken the enemy commander prisoner. Lucian, your fire quickly begins to consume that pumpkin patch, but thankfully the fencing does actually do an adequate job at keeping it contained, and it does not spread any further and eventually fizzles out, but this patch is burned to cinders.
I love the smell of cooking vegetables. I will join Wes's on the interrogation.
All right, Zephyr, you see your three companions are down on the street below. Caleb and his soldiers looking over the cannon and seeing if it can be salvaged. Whatsis and Lucian next to him, ready to interrogate the enemy captain. Anything you'd like to do?
No, I'm pretty relaxed where I am.
Yeah, you're content. What the fuck's gonna mess with you up there?
Like, man, that was a lot of work. No.
Yes, man, had to throw a token into the air, had to watch. So much happened. All right.
So much work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. All right. The captain has his hands up and does not resist as you restrain him. Whatsis? Knock off that rope unless you reclaim it.
Yeah, I will be reclaiming it.
You can see that the captain appears to be human, as you would expect. He has dark skin, is wearing a black cloak with the red sigil of Barbaris on it. His armor beneath it is white. So basically, like, you guys had seen Barbaris troops wearing that white uniform when they attempted to abduct you. It's basically that uniform, but with a black cloak with the red rose imprinted on
Can
it.
Can I take the cloak and put it in the fire?
Yeah, sure. Lucian, as you rob him of his cloak, he kind of winces, but does not resist you. You can see that beneath the cloak he is a rather handsome human man, kind of thin black hair that's slicked back, dark skin, as I mentioned, and wearing a pair of kind of darkened tinted glasses. You can see that his jawline is rough and rugged and sporting a 5 o'clock shadow.
You know, I would think that somebody like you wouldn't be supporting somebody like him.
You mean His Majesty?
Ugh, don't call him that.
Loyalty has that sort of effect.
It's disgusting.
What do you want from me?
So, I have a few questions for you. If you answer them honestly, I'll let you leave, and you can go back to the city and pass
I
on
have a
what
message.
happened.
Yeah, and I do have a message for His Highness.
Very well. I'll take whatever message you want.
So, how many troops are inside the city?
He thinks for a second, seeming like he's just getting the numbers straight in his head. Rounding up, about 9,000. But, less than an eighth of that is actual regulars. The rest are militia, conscripts we picked up from the surrounding settlements.
Makes sense. Hmm. And how are y'all doing on supplies?
We have plenty. We can outlast this siege no matter how long it goes on for. Our
Even
systems
without
are
the farm?
sophisticated. It's not like they
And
can...
without trains?
Without trains. Has something happened to the railroad?
Hmm. I don't know. You tell me.
He sighs and leans his head back. His Majesty says that we'll be getting relief soon. We just need to hold out.
Oh, if you're counting on Lucifer Elfakir, I wouldn't hold your breath. And if you're
Who?
counting on the Knolls, they're dealt with as well. Your relief's not coming.
That figures. Elves. But I'm sure
Yeah.
His Majesty has a plan to deal with you.
I'll agree with you on that one. Elves.
What else do you want from me?
Along with the ladies here's message, let's make this a whole lot simpler. Have your king and a small detachment of his picking come out and face us. Let's make it like why have everyone suffer when it only needs to be a select few? He's not scared of us. We are only mongrels after all. If I remember his phrasing from when he captured us back in the woods.
Yes, yes. He spits at the ground at your feet and glares up at you through his spectacles. Because that's exactly what you'd want.
Yeah.
We may not have the power your kind do, but we have numbers and loyalty to our own. We'll hold this city as long as we need to. Relief will come.
Look, I don't want to hurt anybody more. Why are you doing? Why can you not give the message?
I'll give whatever message you want. But if you're hoping that it's going to scare us into submission, I wouldn't count on it.
Well, I was hoping that if he saw any sense, that he wouldn't have to see so many people or humans dying.
Humans die every day. That's what keeps us humble, unlike you.
She kind of crosses her arms. As soon as you're done with him, I think he should go.
Well, I've gotten the information I need. Be on your way.
And you?
I will undo the ropes.
You tell him that we are coming, and there's nothing that can stop us.
It's not normally my place to lie to His Majesty, but in exchange for my life, as you wish. He rubs his wrists as you release him from the restraints and scowls at all of you a final time before taking his leave. But you do see he glances to Caleb and the Tebadrons as he passes and looks very obviously like not hiding it in the slightest confused.
Well, I didn't think we would actually show up.
Not just that. Honestly, I've learned to expect more from less in my line of work. Military life teaches you to expect the best from the worst. But are things really so desperate under your rule that you had to throw in your lot with them?
Considering considering the lot that your kingdom has thrown yourselves in with,
Perhaps perhaps the elf maid is right. It is a shame that humans have to die in this god's forsaken place. But it is not by our will, but by yours.
He actually seems to think that it's going to be our side that loses.
Well, I mean, the numbers do support
Yeah, to be fair,
that.
from a military perspective, if you're thinking purely rationally and strategically, yeah, that's a totally reasonable assumption. But, you know, they're not going to be able to account for fucking you guys being a higher level than most adventurers ever survived to get, using reality bending magic and summoning fucking mythical apex predators.
Yeah, we got Big Bird on our team now.
He kind of looks at you and your troops, Caleb, with a obviously disappointed expression before taking his leave.
Besides, can you honestly blame us for getting rid of the roadblock?
A roadblock for them, not for you. I know His Majesty offered your family a place at our side. You would have done well to take it. Perhaps, if you wish, I can request that His Majesty grants you mercy. As one of our kin, I'm sure the arm would be extended.
Ugh, gross.
Well, unfortunately, I have issues with who your king decided to befriend. The creators of monsters are not my friends.
They're monsters now. We'll turn them into something better. Farewell, Your Majesty. May we meet with honors on the field of battle. And he will take his leave, disappearing down the road and out of
Let's
sight.
see. Well,
Hey, if Caleb wants to kill him, I only said I would spare him.
I was just thinking about how much this guy might know from this. What do you mean? He doesn't know a lot that they don't already know. The tip agents are here. There's a couple of thieves.
Well, they don't know how many. They only see a small
Yeah,
detachment.
they saw a group of less than 30 fucking annihilate one of their patrols.
Yeah. So Caleb will let it by. He doesn't. No need to waste the ammo yet.
Alright. With no casualties on your side and 15 Barbaris casualties, the first skirmish of the siege ends in a victory for the Western Alliance.
Oh yeah, and he's gonna tell his troops to be ready because as we leave, we're going to burn the farms.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Your
Burn
troops look
everything.
fucking delighted by that news.
Basically,
the
take
cellars
everything. Take everything of value. Let's see if we can't maybe drag that cannon away and put it to use.
Alright.
Hey, Zephyr, can your bird carry the cannon?
Imagine you're just shouting up to Zephyr on this massive bird.
He's asleep, man.
Yeah, he's just like, wake me up when you guys need me to carry the fucking team again. I'll be in dreamland.
Dude,
And
it's just
I
it's
also
just
wanna
like
check-
playing. It's just like playing video games with Austin. He
It
just
really
very,
is. Like, how does he turn
Absolutely.
even Dungeons and Dragons into a fucking like just, oh yeah, I'll just carry the team. Don't mind me.
Yes, if he's Austin.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I want to check the cellar.
Noted.
But I'm going to do it quickly before the next detachment of soldiers come.
Yeah, because that excursion was fucking loud. that got a lot of it. The Western Alliance literally could see it from miles away. All right. What's is you're heading for the cellars. Zephyr, you're muted if you're talking, but let me know if you want to do anything. Lucian, anything from you while Caleb secures the cannon and has his troops burn everything they don't loot.
I'm gonna get away from the fire, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this as my time to take my broom and go back and report to the queens, plural, what happened.
Okay. Lucian, you take your report and start preparing to make your way back. I will mention once you are gone, but at this point you're just finalizing your notes. Zephyr, anything from you?
How heavy is the cannon?
That's a good question. Let me double check.
For your bird, it's as light as a feather. That's 30 foot long.
How much does a cannon weigh?
Yeah, having to Google shit. Sorry.
Hey, Matthew, I thought you would have known that.
I think it's around actually
to be-
800 pounds.
Yeah, and in fairness, you know that this is my least favorite part of this sort of thing, is like the calibers and statistics of it. All right. And this particular cannon is 1,600 pounds.
Yeah, the thing can't carry that. Carry up to
And a couple of
500.
horses.
Carry
Can
up to
we even
500
drag it?
pounds.
You'll need to essentially, because as mentioned, the wheels work, it's just that the axle's broken. So you can either try to repair the axle to get it mobile again, or I did mention there is a wheelbarrow nearby, and your thieves are looting everything. One of them can try to turn the wheelbarrow into a sort of improvised cart for it.
How would it take a long time to fix the axle, or could it be done quickly?
Depends if you're using mundane means, then it'd probably take you about an hour or two. If you have the mending spell, in theory, it could be done in a couple minutes.
I doubt any of us have the mending spell.
I don't think so. Let me check.
You do not.
Not even my wizard spells?
Well,
I'm pretty sure it's a cantrip, and you can't change
It
those.
doesn't
So
look-
Yeah, it's got to be prepared.
I have a bunch of wizard spells. Hang
well,
on.
even then, I don't think you have any wizard cantrips.
No, I do not.
So yeah, so you can either spend a couple hours fixing it, or yeah, see if maybe one of the thieves can bring you the wheelbarrow and turn that into an improvised thing for it. Just strap a cannon to a fucking wheelbarrow, just the most fucking.
Whatever
When you
we
think about
gotta-
it, it's the first tank.
Whatever we gotta do. And if we
Alright.
can, I assume there must have been some ammo for it around.
Yes, there are several boxes of cannonballs and gunpowder nearby.
Caleb will tell some of his thieves to grab some of those boxes.
All right.
As
I'm gonna have the
you're-
paladins grab the black powder. This will come in handy for later.
All right. Zephyr, I know I've asked you already, so I apologize if I'm asking you to repeat, but yes, did you have anything you'd like to do?
I'm going to just wait for. I'm gonna relax on the bird. How far away is our camp from here?
Your camp from this location is, just a second, I gotta pull that map up. From your current location, they are just shy of 500 feet from you.
Okay, I can go 300 of that feet in just a minute. I could be there in 2 minutes.
All right. Keep
I'll come back to you, Zeph. What's his?
No!
Oh,
It's a game thing.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
What was that?
yeah, game thing, I assume.
A creeper just blew up the front of my house.
What's his? As you patrol around, you have your Oathbreakers begin gathering some of the priming powder for the cannon, and you yourself make your way to the cellar. And you can see a few of the Tavadrons are already gathered around the cellar door, trying to pry it open, but not really having any luck. And as you approach, they kind of step aside, looking at you. And one of them, a kind of darker skinned girl with dreadlocks in her hair, kind of gestures to it. It's kind of visibly frustrated. Locked. Haven't had any luck getting through.
Can I bust it open. Like I'm just gonna like grab it at the where the lock is and just pull as hard as I can and just try to rip the lock apart.
All right.
I love that, and I imagine like Zephyr's up on his bird, like fucking barbarians.
Yeah. You're just you fucking kidding me? Come
Not
on, we
all
gotta
of
be
us are could be
professionals.
thieves.
All right. What's his?
What's it be like? Amateurs.
Throwing subtlety to the wind, you just break out one of your axes and bring it down on the lock. Roll to hit.
Oh no, this is not like he's not even using an axe because he doesn't want to hurt his weapon. He's just by hand just yanking it up.
Oh, so are you just trying to like pry the door open through force, or just trying to break the lock with your bare hands?
Prying it open with force.
Okay, make a dexterity save.
Oh, that's interesting.
It was trapped.
Okay.
You watch, it was trapped.
21.
Okay, you'll take half.
It was trapped. Told you.
Yeah.
Then let's just get a bunch of Caleb's thieves killed.
No. In fact, those of you who are astute and remember things might actually recognize what's about to happen.
Oh.
What's his? So you take half. That's yeah. You take 12 lightning damage. As you attempt to grab the lock and yank up, you feel this kind of odd sensation before you all watch as electricity courses up his metallic arm and just zaps into his shoulder, and the lock and doors just harmlessly fall back into place. The Debadrons jolt back, kind of concerned, and the girl kind of smiles to you nervously, and holds up her hands, which you can see also have some burns on them. Tried that already with a lockpick. Didn't get me anywhere.
It's this again.
Again, you know these defenses.
Yeah. I've run into it a couple of times.
Oh,
So-
That's why he has those arms.
oh. She kind of looks at her hands nervously and kind of like rubs them against their sleeves, like she's hoping that'll make the burn marks go away.
Can I go over to her and inspect her hands?
Make a medicine check.
Okay.
Okay, so you said the door to the cellars actually came up though.
Yeah, is I don't know if you've ever had a cellar door like this. I'm based. I had my great grandparents had a farm, so I'm basing this on that. But basically, when you lock a door like that, you can pull the doors up slightly. It's just that the lock prevents them from actually opening fully because the lock is basically on the handles.
Okay.
He said medicine. I have a +10 in medicine.
How much of a gap was there?
About 5 inches.
And when they looted all the corpses from the spearmen, do any of these guys have any of those?
Any what?
Of the spears that they took from the spear line.
No, Tebadrons aren't really interested in that sort of weaponry.
I want to go grab 2 spears and two different Tebadrons. Okay, when I lift this, put the spears in underneath it to keep it wedged up.
What for?
I'm going to break the lock once it's visible.
She kind of squints and looks to the other Tebadrons like she doesn't really understand your plan, but they just kind of shrug to her, and she shrugs in return. If you say so.
You'll be fine. I'll be the one taking the electricity damage here.
That's what I'm worried about.
I will
Yes.
also say while I'm inspecting him, I'll just be like, "Don't worry, I'm here. I'll make sure he'll be fine." And I got a 28.
Looking at her hands, thankfully the damage appears pretty superficial. It's nowhere near the point What's-His had gotten his hands to get the prosthetics he needed. And
Yeah.
it appears once she got shocked the first time, she was like, okay, we just can't get that open. And they were like just trying to figure out their options.
Okay, so I guess I have a med kit, so I'll just like grab her her burns for her. You'll be just fine.
She seems surprised by the act, but does give you an appreciative nod. Thank you, Lady Elefakir.
Oh, it's no problem.
She kind of gives an awkward bow, like she's not, as a Tavadran, not really used to the curtsies and politeness involved in royalty.
I'll do that. I'll do a hand wave. That's you don't have to do that.
Good. I don't much like doing it.
Oh, you're not very good at it.
Ow!
Damn.
She kind of pouts at you, but does grin, seeming to actually appreciate the banter.
It was a good try. It was actually a really good try for somebody who I imagine doesn't do it very often.
She gives a bit of a shrug.
It's more like this, and I'll give a proper bow to her.
She looks to you, and one of the other Tavadrans watching this happen kind of looks to her, looks to you, looks to her, and it's just like, does her bowing to you make you an even higher ranking? I think so. My first act as queen is I demand all of the Elefakirian money and titles.
If I had it, I would give it to you.
Then your fife is of no use to me. Begone, dullard.
You wish, nice lady.
Oh boy. And Lucian has a new crush.
that wasn't a no.
I mean, she's just trying to be nice. Can I be nice for once without having a crush?
No.
Oh.
With you,
Oh.
no.
Oh. Oh.
It's,
Oh.
All right, what's your grand strategy here?
So he's going to take the electric damage again, lifting it just enough for them to quickly slide the shafts into the gap to keep the door from shutting all the way, leaving a gap. And then I'll smack it with my great sword, breaking the lock.
All right.
Once the lock gets exposed,
Yeah. Make a dex save.
So let's see, +4, 9.
That's a fail. However, I rolled pretty low on damage. What's-His? You tug on the lock, lifting the doors up. The two remaining Tavadrans who aren't busy having their hands taken care of shove their spears into the gap, and you grab your axe before bringing it down on the exposed lock. Roll to hit.
Oh, do I need to take the damage first, or you go add
yes,
it together?
but I'm seeing basically like if you're gonna even break it before the damage is applied.
Let's. How is a 24?
Okay. Easily done. And this lock is fairly small, so I will not ask you to roll damage. What's-His? You bring your axe down with a whirl, and all of you hear this searing of metal and these sparks fly free. What's-His? More electricity travels up your axe, up your arm, and into your shoulder. This one striking a bit closer to home. You can feel your heart kind of stutter a little bit. You take 11 lightning damage, but the lock is completely seared in half, and the Tabadrans fling the cellar doors open. Thanks, big guy. Now, let's see what these good little farmers were hiding.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go check it out.
You guys head into the cellar to start looting. Caleb, your looters, speaking of, return at this point, and they are thrilled. However, there is a few unexpected bits above it. I was just going to say Tebadrins. The three of you remaining on the surface see that Caleb's troops are returning, and many of them appear to be carrying lockboxes. Caleb, they present them to you eagerly and shake them, and you can hear the rattling of coins. Found a few lockboxes in the attics.
That's good. Matt, I've been meaning to ask, like, is there like a percent that like the king is supposed to take?
It kind of varies by just by the situation, basically. Tebadra's last king, and until you, only king, basically operated kind of on a system of he took the majority of it for kingdom use, but the troops were, as I mentioned to you, the troops were essentially given just essentially a personal cut of anything the king didn't want, they were allowed to just have for themselves.
Fair enough.
But Lucian, among the troops, as they're just kind of like showing off all the different things they found, you see that one of them is showing to his friends a tome that you can read arcane language. You can instantly tell from the text in it appears to be a spell book of some kind.
I should get called dibs on any scrolls and spell stuff.
It's called dibs.
Yeah, which the Tebadrins appear to be promptly ignoring.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over there and be like, didn't I say I had dibs?
They all like jump a little bit before looking to the guy who found it,
Hi, still here.
who stares at you for a moment before smiling, closing the book, and holding it out to you. Just making sure it was all in one piece, Your Highness.
I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were. Fucking patrons. Okay.
However, that appears to be everything they've looted. So, Caleb, you can see they found about 3 or 4 lockboxes that are just seemingly personal belongings of the farmers, and a spell book that has been handed over to Lucian. Do you want anything of the take, or you're just going to let the troops fight amongst themselves for it?
You asking Caleb?
Yeah.
Caleb will just take like. Caleb will just make sure that at least some of it will be going back to Tebadra itself, considering the king organized this and all that.
Okay.
He'll just take like a little organization
Yeah,
organizer
a little bit
fee.
off the top.
Yeah, he'll just take like a little organizer fee.
All right. I'll say to save us some time, once the lockboxes are cracked open, you have an army of fucking lockpicks. It shouldn't be too hard. It's 80 gold in total. How much of it do you wish to take?
1 second.
His farmers are pretty well off.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Let's see, 80 gold
Makes me think they weren't just farmers.
times point
I haven't
1.
said what you found in the cellar yet.
And I
Alright,
hadn't
so
looked at
80 gold was found. Caleb will take 10%, which would be 8 gold.
Okay, noted. Taking the contents of one of the lockboxes for yourself, you allow the Tebadrins the rest, and they enthusiastically begin to divvy out the loot, as the rest of them start busting out the tinderbox and torches, ready to start burning shit. Zephyr,
Yeah.
you continue to
Radiant really like
lounge.
burning things.
Matt, I would
What's
like
up?
before they start burning things, I would like to take my book, my new book, and I will let somebody know that I'm going back to camp before using my
The fire
bread.
starts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before the fire starts to get the fuck out of
So
there.
they don't have to make
Noted.
this wisdom save for the 3rd time
This session. All right, noted. Well, I'll let you know whenever they're about to start lighting, and you can head out.
Okay.
What's his? As you
Also,
and your
did
three...
we rob like the food from the farms as well?
Yes, some of it was burned, but yes, the Tavadrons are looting bags and food from the farms as well. Seeming like they're just enjoying the act of stealing more than the actual value of what they take.
Hey, they need to eat, right?
Yeah.
Food may not have much monetary value, but it is definitely valuable.
And you do catch a few of the Tavadrons muttering to each other that they're actually pretty glad to have this job, considering that they think the Autumn, Fall, and Sun Dragon food is terrible. And they've been living on fucking rations this whole time, so it's been fucking weeks since they had a proper meal.
Fresh food too.
Yeah.
I love vegetables. So yay.
Yeah, pumpkins, squashes, that sort of thing.
Pumpkins are squashes.
What's his?
Okay, we're not getting into that.
Yeah, I'm admittedly not a farmer, so I don't fucking know.
They're gourd.
What's his? As you and the three Tavadrons make your way down, Lucian leaving the bandaged woman to join them, you busy yourself with your new spell book and loot. As the Tavadrons finish their job upstairs, what's his? You and your companions head into the cellar. Looking around, you can see that this cellar appears to be likely serving the purpose of essentially being a shelter in the event of something happening. You can see that there are beds down here, a few shelves of just various items. Again, likely this was meant to act as a shelter. Given that this place is very close to the river, you imagine that in the event the neighboring farmhouse were to flood, then they would come across the street to this house and hide in the.
Also,
Essentially,
does this river appear to be like the water supply for the city, or like part of it?
I was actually going to note that because What's has got that natural 20 on perception earlier. I hadn't noted it yet, but I was going to, so I'll bring it up here. What's is, yeah, I will add once things settled down while you were just doing all of the setup and everything. You do notice that this brook, and Caleb, I'll throw this in for you as well. You do notice that the brook travels up towards the city and into a canal.
And does the canal go into the city or away from the city?
The river
Which way
flows.
the water flows?
Yeah, the river flows out of it, so you'll be going against the water if you use it, but that is a potential way in. The Alliance did mention that for all of their faults, one thing that the Barbaris people are legitimately proud of is their architectural skills. Their canal is one of the most advanced and intricate in Yav.
Okay, so this is flowing out of the city.
Yeah, basically, it appears they've engineered a method to use the water in the city, perhaps filtering it from the coast, doing whatever they need to do with it, and then sending it back out to act as an improvised irrigation for the farmland.
Okay.
Because, as mentioned, the Barbarous people didn't want to grow Yavic plants that were acclimated to this environment, so instead they have been basically forcing the climate to be closer to home so that their crops can grow.
Yeah, that's one thing Caleb wants to find is the water source of the city to basically, literally poison the well.
Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, you now know would have a double effect of not only poisoning the well, but poisoning their food supply as well.
Yeah,
But,
and
oh, go on.
if summer's anything to go off of, apparently Tibadrians know their way around poisons.
Yeah. But yeah, so what's is with your natural 20, you did clock that, so we can easily say that you passed that on to Caleb earlier if you wish.
Yeah, definitely would have.
All right, so yeah, Caleb, you do know this. But
hopefully my thieves can find the other end of this and we can cause them some problems.
But for now, what's is, as you make your way with the three Tibadrians into the cellar, they, of course, immediately start going around and grabbing everything that isn't nailed down. Is there anything you wish to do?
I'm just gonna look through it, see what I can find, see if there's anything of use. And what kind of mattresses are these?
They appear to be essentially improvised ones. So essentially, very basic tarps that have been wrapped around what, from kind of giving it a cautious feel, appears to be a combination of hay and feathers.
Feathers.
Steel's heavier than feathers.
Yeah,
And
he'll leave that alone. But he's
Alright.
gonna look for just because of the fact that this was so well guarded. It was
Noted.
protecting something. He's looking for little secret hidey holes, anything.
all right. And do you want to just be looking in the cellar or in the rest of the house as well?
He'll start in the cellar and work his way up.
All right, roll investigation.
Steel is heavier than feathers.
Steel's heavier than feathers.
So that's a natural 19 plus
That's an old ass meme, isn't it?
It is, but that's fine.
minus 1, so 18.
Okay. What's his? You and the Tebadrins look around. The Tebadrins seem to be almost kind of quietly racing you to find loot, but unfortunately, not only are you stronger than them, you are a better looter than them, which is depressing for multiple reasons. So they eventually just content themselves with kind of like idly checking things out, while you just grab everything that isn't nailed down, basically.
Oh no, I'm going to share with them. I'm not taking it all for myself.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make sure we don't leave anything behind for them to find when they get back.
In the cellar, you just find 3 more lock boxes that, kind of, again, shaking them, appear to contain some gold, likely personal belongings.
And you said there's 3 Tebadrins with me, right?
Yes.
They could each have a lockbox.
Which they happily, the 2 of them happily just take and laugh to each other, but the woman just smiles to you as you hand it to her and gives you a nod of the head. Thank you.
Of course.
That's the only things of immediate interest you find in the cellar, but you begin checking the rest of the house just to be thorough, and that's where things start to get interesting. I will say you do find 2 more lockboxes in the bedroom of the farm, but as you're grabbing those lockboxes and just kind of curiously looking around, you notice on a table essentially on a table set up by one of the windows, you notice a folder sitting on one of the tables, 2 stacked on top of each other, and you notice they bear a very familiar emblem, the monocle with lightning running through it.
They're fucking.
Damn it. I want to grab them. Is there anything else that he can see quickly?
Yes, with your investigation check, you also would find on the 2nd floor, you find 1 more folder bearing that emblem, and a final one on the bedside table of the master bedroom.
Any trapdoors?
That is the final thing you find in the cellar. There is a sliding door hidden between 2 of the bunk beds.
I'm going to have my greatsword out, and I'm going to motion towards it. There might be something over here. I don't know.
Secret door.
Yeah.
Michael Dibs.
Don't be too excited. It could be trapped.
Well, that's what we have you for, Muscles. Go on, then.
Well, go on, then.
I will basically, for like, what's this door made out of?
Wood.
Can I kick it in?
Roll strength.
Hey, no deck save.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is Matthew. Don't jinx me. Is this a saving
I
throw
mean,
or
it's not
just
really
a check?
jinxing. Whether or not there's going to be a deck save is already determined.
I think he's more saying that don't give me to be like, yeah, actually, that's a good point. This thing should be trapped. But yeah, go ahead. What? Sorry.
Is this a
Check,
check
not
or
saving throw.
saving throw? Okay. So that is a 23.
Okay. Easily done. All of you hear this after like about 10 minutes of what's is being in the cellar and searching the rest of the house. You just hear this sound of collapsing, caving wood as what's is you kick in the wall. And yeah, it's a lot thinner than you expected, so your foot just goes right through, but the structure basically caves. You see it leads into a
It would've been
narrow
funny if,
dugout
like-
corridor that leads to a grated metallic elevator.
Oh shit!
While I will
So
say,
glad I didn't leave yet.
yeah, that's why I kept specifying like you will leave when the fire starts, because I didn't want you to be fucking gone and be like dungeon. You recognize while the design is distinctly similar to Edict's, the materials used to construct it are less advanced. This appears to have been engineered on the surface, but definitely by someone who knows how this technology works.
Is it heading
Like
up or is
like
it heading
Kaloo.
down?
It would have to be heading down. The only place it could go if it was going up is into the house.
Unless this house is like the frickin' TARDIS.
Yeah. Which would be hilarious, but likely not.
Well, he does call himself a doctor.
And it's probably possible because like bags of holding are basically like bags of TARDIS.
Oh yeah. It's not that it's all impossible for the house to be like the TARDIS. It just would be an amusing use of that ability.
What? It's bigger on the inside.
I will look at the 3 Tibadrons. Nothing here that y'all can get. Go inform the king and the others that there has been a discovery.
The 2 Tibadrons give you a salute and immediately just like still giggling over their lockboxes head out of the cellar, but the lady stays with you and kind of stares down the corridor curiously.
Rip.
His Majesty has not told us much. Did I cut out? Where did I leave off?
That
is
they
looking
left
down
with their
the corridor.
lockboxes.
Yeah, and the lady stays with you and curiously looks down the corridor, and after a moment speaks up. His Majesty has not told us much, but I assume this is related to what we're up against.
Yes, one of the Concord members, if I had to guess, created this.
Didn't Kaylee give a speech about the whole situation with the Concord?
You said what they are, but you didn't say basically exactly who and what you were up against, just that they were responsible for the Ichor Beasts.
And also like blaming them for attacks on the king and such.
Yeah, so basically they know that they're a political agency that is creating monsters, but they don't know exactly who's in it or what they're capable
Yeah, and then they
of.
also say that they also caused the sleeping thing that plagued Tibadra.
But again, that can just be thrown back to they make monsters.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are way further advanced than we are as far as this guy goes.
Is this why His Majesty has been so adamant about arming us?
Yes. Because if we don't get stronger, they are, and we will lose.
I will make sure His Majesty knows. Thank you.
Of course. Let them know I'm staying here to keep an eye on it.
All right.
And he will also pass her the other 2 lock boxes. He's got enough money. For now.
He says that now.
Yeah, I was just thinking you're saying that now. You always say that before you spend it.
Hey, as I said, for now.
Yeah, fair. You hand her the lockboxes, and now carrying 3 of them, she gives you a kind smile, and kind of carrying it all awkwardly, makes her way up the stairs out of the cellar. Caleb, with Lucian nearby finalizing her map, and Zephyr up on the rock, but you're still within earshot. The 3 Tibadrians approach you, Caleb. The 2 saluting you, but the woman carrying the 3 lockboxes just giving you a nod. Your Majesty, situation report.
Go on.
We were checking out the cellar. He looks down at the lockbox him and his buddy are carrying, and they quickly, like, hide it behind themselves. We didn't find anything, but, your big friend found a little hidey door. Thinks that you might want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna mark on my map. I'm gonna go into. Can you lead us there? So I can map it.
Yes, and you should know it is the doing of the Concord.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
And then we should have a look at this.
Definitely.
What should I tell the soldiers?
Just tell them to hold for a second. They're gonna have a quick look. We'll head back and decide what to do next.
Yes, Your Majesty. Aye, sir. You got it. And they smile to each other, likely totally confident they got away with not having to pay taxes.
Oh, and if on second look you find anything, just make sure, just make sure that the Badra gets its cut.
Of course, sir. I wouldn't dream of hiding anything from you, Your Majesty. She just smiles and just passes you one of her lockboxes.
I appreciate it.
She just gives you a smile and, carrying one under each arm, heads to inform the rest of the troops. Zephyr, Caleb and Lucian are heading into the cellar. Do you follow?
I'm gonna map the way as well.
Noted. Yeah, Zeph, what are you doing?
Being Zephyr.
I know, I was like, I wanted to stay, but I'm like, but this sounds like it's a big thing, so I will...
Sounds like it's gonna be a whole thing.
Now, Caleb has no intention of having a whole thing right now.
Caleb might not, but...
might not make it that way, but...
Caleb wants to have some organization to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you doing, Zeph?
I guess I'll go down with them.
Alright. Leaving your new pet for now, you scuttle down the wall and follow your compatriots into the cellar. What's...
I think you always describe Zephyr as scuttling.
I mean, how else would you describe the way Zephyr moves?
I said I like it.
Oh, okay. I'm so used to you saying that sarcastically.
I don't usually say it sarcastically.
You are not left waiting for long. After only a few minutes, you see Caleb and Lucian enter with Zephyr shortly behind. All of you see that the place has been well looted, even some of the mattresses flung up, but you see is standing by an opened chasm in the wall, which indeed, as you all can see, leads into a wire-framed metallic elevator that leads presumably down further underground.
Colum's been here. And I'll hold up the 4 folders with his insignia on them.
Motherfucker. I'm gonna get inside the elevator and I'm gonna look around.
Roll investigation.
Okay.
Yeah, Kelly was gonna investigate the outside.
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation as well.
And I will stand inside the elevator in case something happens.
In case it, like, activates.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way at least one party member doesn't get sucked down into it alone.
Investigation. It's one of the few things I haven't gotten the proficiency on yet.
Give it time.
Right. 11.
Alright, 11 from you, Lucy.
17.
Alright. Caleb, investigating the tunnel and surrounding area. You can't discern much from it. However, I will say that it does appear like this was mined out. You can't tell how recently, but given that, yeah, from although it was kicked in, you can tell there was a coverage here. It's likely this has been in operation for a while, but you can't really tell how old it is or if the farmers appeared to know of its presence. But as I mentioned to Watts, you can tell that this was a more of a shelter than a like completely used place. So it's possible that people didn't come in here very frequently, but again, you can't discern enough detail to confirm that. But it's possible. Lucian, as you pull open the door of the elevator and step inside, it does give a slight creak and wiggle under your weight, but otherwise holds firm. And you can see there is a control panel, very simplified, just a lever to control its descent or ascent. You can see that a winch on the ceiling controls it, and you can see emblazoned proudly on the control panel is Kalum's insignia. That
I want to punch
motherfucker,
it in
yeah, that motherfucker brands everything he builds.
I want to fucking punch it in its stupid face. Do I see any buttons?
Just a lever to go up or down.
I kind of want to go down. What is everybody else doing?
Well, my thieves are ready to start burning the farms, so I don't want to keep them waiting too long.
I
Have them leave the
there might
building
be
intact.
something down there.
And we could probably get another opportunity with a group that we have prepared for.
Necessarily. I'm sorry, Caleb. No offense or anything, but I really don't trust a bunch of Tibadrons with anything that has to do with any of this technology. So I would feel a little safer knowing exactly what is down there.
And plus, we can't take the city yet.
Them to. Can't
What
you
was
tell
that?
them to like pause their burning for now?
Like they can burn the other building and crops, just not this building yet.
I could tell them to. We don't have very long. They probably saw that bird, and they're probably sending people out here right now.
Exactly. So they burn the other stuff, leave this building intact, and then they retreat back to the camp while we go and investigate.
And possibly make it to where we will be surrounded by enemies when we come back out.
Yeah. Why would they come back here?
But we also know that reinforcements are coming.
I just think that we need to go and investigate this. If Kalum was here, they're up to something.
There is absolutely something down there, and I don't mean this offensively. I don't trust your bandits with anything that has to do with this technology. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it does. Somebody could hurt themselves seriously.
Well, it's not that either. It's just who knows? He could have weapons. He could have something ready to trigger a trap and blow up the entire town.
Down there.
Yes, and all of those things may take a lot of time to deal with.
You don't have to come with us, you know.
If you want to go down there by yourselves, you can, but I have other things I have to think about.
So have you miraculously figured out how you're getting into the city then?
Well, if you give my thieves some time to actually do the job I've set them out to do, I will probably find many ways in.
Exactly. Time. So, boom.
Like I said, if the rest of you want to go down there and get caught up in God knows what in the middle of a siege,
I don't expect either of you to come with us. We all know that Zephyr doesn't want to get into a fight, and you have your
duties.
Yeah, sorry, I was swallowing spit. You have your duties, so you know.
Just let the others know.
At least take a few of your paladins with you, Watsons.
Yeah, I will pick out two of the stronger ones and send the others back with Caleb.
Okie doke. Zeph, how about you? Lucian seems content that you likely won't be accompanying. Caleb's returning back. Which group do you wish to follow?
I will choose both.
Oh.
I'm gonna
What?
I'm gonna basically go back to my bird, just rest there.
I see. Taking the neutral route. I respect that. All right.
He's taking the high road.
All right. In that
Because the
case,
birds there, they're not going to come back anytime soon until it flies away.
Or they might just come back with more people to try to kill it.
in that case, Caleb, you and Zephyr part ways from the elves once more. However, as you assemble your troops and give them the renewed orders, Zephyr climbs back up onto his bird and does not make to follow you. It appears he is staying behind as well. If you return to camp, you will be returning alone.
Well, if he must.
Okay.
Make sure that the queens know where we are.
I will inform them. Good luck
All
down
right.
there.
We'll let you know.
The Tebadrins set fire to everything that they were allowed to. And as smoke begins to cloud the sky, Zephyr, you stand vigil as Caleb and his troops return through the water line and back into the forest out of sight. The party splits once more as Caleb places his kingly duties over the party as the party descends down into darkness to further investigate the activity of the Scar Concord, whose tendrils are clearly sunk deep, metaphorically and literally, into the kingdom of Barbaris. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Oh boy, this is getting good.
Thank you.
I was not expecting to find this here. But then again,
Caleb's
you
having
did.
to like.
Go ahead.
I said Caleb's having to like. He's having to like do things differently than what he would have
Mm-hmm. Hey, your father would be proud of you.
because like there's more at stake than just himself if something happens when he goes on one of these misadventures.
Mm-hmm. Check out our
True,
website
true.
at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer who that motherfucking mad scientist has another lair.
How dare you have more layers than me?
I don't even have a good lair. My brother stole my lair.
Yeah.
Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get your podcast from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including His Majesty's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Killer5. That is 5 with a PH, don't get it wrong. And if you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. That link we posted in chat. On Ko-fi at kofi.com/Odd Tornado Productions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd. The TNO are capitalized if you want to get immediate updates whenever we go live, as well as updates on everything else we're working on. And if you want to see more of this party plus or minus a few, tune in Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time for our Monday game Under Locks and Keys, featuring a party of globe-trotting treasure hunters trying to assemble the artifacts of the gods in a race against technology-worshipping cultists. Thanks everybody at the tables for playing. Thanks everyone at home for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Yay!